Welcome to this educational module. We would like to share some practical tips to help you move better.
If you feel that you're walking with shorter steps, or maybe one foot isn't taking as large of a step as the other foot, you could use a metronome or you could use music to help you with your walking. I'm first going to talk about what auditory cues are and then how they work on your nervous system, and then some considerations and precautions to think about. And lastly, we're going to review step by step how to set up a walking program using a metronome or music. Using music or a metronome are called auditory cues. Simply, it's something that you listen to. This type of cue uses different parts of the brain that aren't affected by Parkinson's to help normalize your walking. When listening to music or a metronome, you need a steady beat like a metronome. Neurologically, music helps synchronize your muscles. When your muscles are more synchronized, your stride length becomes more symmetrical. The rhythmicity of your walking improves. You can see a reduction in the severity of your freezing, and your muscle power improves, which lengthens your stride. As far as explaining the synchronization of your muscles, think of these two teams, the green team and the pink team. Think of them as muscle fibers. And the green team, they're all synchronized, they're all pulling at the same time, and because of that, they're stronger and they're able to pull the pink team over. Due to Parkinson's, your muscles are working more asynchronously, neurologically speaking. And the music helps synchronize your muscles, so when you're walking, you have more power to take bigger steps. When starting a walking program with auditory cues, there are some considerations. For example, if you have any history of cardiac problems or low blood pressure when standing up, called orthostatic hypotension, or if you have a history of COPD, or if you're unsteady with your walking, it would be advantageous to start a walking program with music under the supervision of your physical therapist so they can monitor your vitals and give you recommendations specific for your case. We're finally going to get started on setting up the walking program. And what we need to do is find out how many steps we take in a minute. And the reason we need to know that is because we need to translate that into beats per minute for the metronome or for the music. What you're going to need is a stopwatch and a metronome or a metronome app. The norms for steps per minute, or cadence we call it, for women is 117 steps per minute. For men, it's 111 steps per minute. From the time that I've been working in therapy, treating people with Parkinson's, the average range has been between 95 and 115 steps per minute. The goal in therapy, or just our general goal, is not to take more steps per minute necessarily. It's to improve your stride length. So that's the main focus. Making bigger steps. This is how you get your baseline steps per minute. You're going to start walking at your normal speed. You're going to count your steps for 30 seconds. And then you're going to multiply it times 2 because it's steps per minute. So this looks pretty straightforward, but just so you know, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you count all the way up until you have counted for 30 seconds, but you don't want to rush with this. You want to get a good baseline. So for example, you took 52 steps in 30 seconds. 52 times 2 equals 104 steps per minute, which then translates to 104 beats per minute, which is what we need for the metronome or to find our music. Now we're going to set the metronome at 104 beats per minute and see if we can synchronize to that beat. If we can't synchronize to it, then we may need to increase it or decrease it. I have it set at 104 beats per minute. So every time you hear that metronome click, You've got that foot going forward. And that looks like that would work for you if that's how you're walking at 104 beats per minute. So this is what the Metronome app looks like. So you can go in your app store and look for it. And this is a video that just shows how it works. So here we have the Metronome app. And if you just push that one button with the arrow, that'll start it. And then this will stop it. And then if you want to adjust the volume, you can just slide this down, slide it up. And then if you want to increase the beats per minute, you can just do it slowly, or you can use this if you have to do in general. Then I'm going to stop this. Now you can also tap the tap button if you're trying to listen to some music, if it'll be within your range of walking. Like in the video we had 104 was the beats per minute. So I'm just going to see if this is within the range of the walking. So this might work. It looks like it's pretty close. And that might be a song that we can use to walk to. Also on this app, if you want to walk for, let's say, 2 minutes, you push the 2, and then it has a countdown. So it has a lot of nice features. You can figure out the beat to a song as well as use it as a metronome. This is another app. It's called Tap Tempo. Here's a video showing how to use it. This is the Tap Tempo app, and you can use this to determine how many beats per minute a particular song is. So I'm going to show you how it works. I'm going to play a song. So you simply tap your finger to the beat and to help determine what beat per minute that particular song is. So when you're searching through different songs, between each time that you try this out, you should push the reset button, because otherwise what it does, it averages out from the previous beat and it won't be accurate. All right, let me pick out another song. So that was, on the computer, it shows it was 110 beats per minute. This is 109, so it's pretty close. And what you can do is just go through different songs that you enjoy, because those are usually more fun to walk to, and put all those songs together and use those songs to do some walking with. This little metronome is just another option to use to walk with. It's got a little clip on it, so you can clip it onto your clothes. And then you just turn it on. The on button is over here. And you can adjust the volume on the side. And then here you can increase or decrease the beats per minute. Now here in this corner you see a 0. Typically you would either want a 0, or you can change the beat by pushing this upper button. You could use a 1 as well. And then the 2 is nice. Let's say if your left foot, it's only your left foot that's having some difficulty with taking a step, that louder beat can help accentuate the step of that 1 foot. So those are the 3 positions you would want, is that 2 in the corner, or a 1, or a 0. And you can push the beat button to get where you want to get. When you first get started with a walking program, probably the easiest way to make adjustments is through the metronome. And then once you've made the adjustments with the metronome, then go to the music and start selecting your music. Initially, when you're walking and you can't synchronize to the beat, then most likely you need to increase or decrease the beats per minute. Probably all of you have experienced when you go out dancing and there's just some songs, it's like you just can't dance to it because it's just not your beat. But then there comes that song where it's got a really good beat and it really is a good rhythm for you. And you go out and you really hook into the beat of that music. And that's kind of the idea that we're looking at for when you're walking with music. You want to naturally hook in to the beat. When you do make adjustments, you want to do it at 5 beats per minute increments. So if you're walking at 100 beats per minute, and you're just not hooking to it well, it seems a bit slow for you, then you would increase it to 105 beats per minute and see how that does. And if it still seems slow, then you would go to 110 beats per minute. But doing it incrementally helps fine-tune for you the beat that works best for you. If your steps become shorter, then the beat is too fast for you because you're trying to catch up to the beat. And in order to do that, you have to take shorter steps. But that's the last thing we want to do. We don't want to encourage shorter steps. So you're going to need to slow the beat down so that your steps remain as long as possible. As you improve with practice, you may find that, let's say you start at 100 beats per minute, you may find that 100 beats per minute initially was great, you were synchronized to it, but now it seems a little bit slow for you, and that happens often. So then you would again make adjustments, bring it up to 105 beats per minute, and now, I can synchronize to that pretty good, or maybe you go up to 110. But every so often you may want to revisit it to see what beats per minute works best for you. Sometimes people may start out at a certain beats per minute, and then if they get tired, they may reduce it by 5 beats per minute, or vice versa. When you start out, you may start out 100 beats per minute, and then as you get going and warmed up, then you do better at 105 beats per minute. So it does vary, and play around with it to see what works best for you. Once you get everything set up, what you want to do is walk to the metronome or the music on a regular basis. With Parkinson's, doing any activity on a regular basis is beneficial. After you've walked a while with the metronome or the music, what you want to do is spend some time walking without it, but thinking about it. So you may want to spend, 20 minutes walking with the music or the metronome, and then walk another 10 minutes without it and just thinking about that beat to help further ingrain it. And that helps make you a little more flexible if you're out socially in different situations and you're having a little trouble moving, then you think about the beat or the music to help get you started again. One of the patients that I've had in the past said that every time she gets stuck, she just hums to herself the music that she would listen to, and that would help her get out of having trouble with walking. If you're unable to walk to the metronome or to the music, there are other options. There's attention strategies and visual cues, and those are in different learning modules that I've posted on my website. In summary, if you have any respiratory, cardiac, or blood pressure conditions, you should have a physical therapist monitor your responses just to make sure that you're safe to proceed with a walking program with auditory cues, because they do tend to make you to work harder and longer, and we just want you to be safe going forward. So first you're going to establish how many steps you take in a minute, which equates to the beats per minute. And then you're going to fine-tune the walking beat with the metronome, where you can maintain long steps, that's a key, yet still be able to hook into the beat. Then find music in the same beat range and enjoy your walks. Thank you.